The night ripped open with the sound of a slammed door, and Jasmine said, "I can't believe you did this to me." Her chest heaved as she stumbled into the empty street, her breath turning sharp under the cold rain. The city lights flickered like cruel eyes, watching her unravel. She remembered the words he had spoken hours ago, words that cut her deeper than glass. Jasmine said, "You swore I was your only, but all along I was just your secret." Thunder cracked above, a violent applause to her breaking heart. She pressed her palm against her chest as if she could hold the pieces together. A stranger's car slowed, headlights painting her trembling figure in gold. Her mascara streaked down, her dark eyes burning with fury and despair. She whispered, "I will never beg for love again." The engine hummed, and the window slid down to reveal a man whose gaze pierced through the storm. His expression was unreadable, somewhere between curiosity and calculation. Jasmine's lips parted in disbelief as he said, "I need you for 5 minutes, and I'll make it worth your while." Jasmine wiped rain from her face, her voice breaking as she whispered, "Why would I trust a stranger when the man I loved betrayed me?" Marcus leaned back in his seat, his voice calm, "Because I'm not asking for forever, only for tonight." The words struck her like lightning. She laughed bitterly. "You think money can buy everything, even hearts?" His lips curled faintly, and Marcus said, "Not everything, but enough to change the way this night ends." Jasmine's pulse raced as she stepped closer, torn between fury and curiosity. Her soaked dress clung to her like chains, her dignity fraying with every drop of rain. She whispered, 5 minutes can ruin a lifetime." Marcus's eyes narrowed, "Or 5 minutes can save you from one." Her chest rose and fell as she whispered, "I don't even know your name." Marcus's lips curved faintly as he said, "You don't need to know my name to save face tonight." Jasmine's brows furrowed, anger mixing with desperation. "Save face?" she asked, voice trembling. He nodded slowly. "The man who broke you is watching, and you're about to show him you were never his to destroy." Jasmine's throat tightened, her heart screaming louder than the rain. She whispered, "This is madness." Marcus said, "No, this is survival." The words echoed in her chest like a lifeline she didn't want to grab but couldn't ignore. The storm howled as Jasmine glanced back, her egg's shadow visible at the far end of the block. Her heart stopped. She said, "He's here." Marcus's gaze sharpened, his jaw tightening. Then let him see what he lost. Jasmine's breath quickened, fear tangling with fire. She stepped closer, her reflection merging with the car window. She whispered, "If I step in, there's no turning back." Marcus leaned closer, voice dropping low. "Then make sure you step in with your head held high." Her trembling hand hovered at the door handle. The thunder cracked as Jasmine's fingers curled around the handle. She whispered, 5 minutes. Marcus's gaze softened slightly, his tone firm. 5 minutes is all I need." She pulled the door open, sliding into the warmth of leather and silence. Her wet dress clung to her as she tried to sit tall, though her body quivered. Marcus's cologne drifted into her lungs, steadying her pulse and unsettling her mind. He said, "Now, smile like he never broke you." Jasmine forced her lips into a trembling smile, her chest aching, her heart screaming against the act she was about to perform. The car hummed softly as Jasmine stared out at the rain, her reflection fractured on the glass. She whispered, "You don't even know me." Marcus kept his eyes on the road, his voice steady, "I know pain when I see it." Her throat tightened, the truth cutting deeper than the storm. She wanted to snap back, but her words died as his calm presence pressed against her chaos. Jasmine said, "You're assuming too much." Marcus's hand shifted on the wheel, his tone low. "I've seen that look before. It doesn't come from nowhere." Her fists clenched against her lap, tears threatening to spill, but she forced her chin high. Jasmine said, "Even if you're right, it's none of your business." Marcus glanced at her for the first time, his eyes burning through the silence. He said, "It became my business when you stepped into this car." The weight of his words pulled her breath away, leaving her trapped between anger and the faintest flicker of safety. Jasmine crossed her arms, pressing herself against the leather seat, her voice sharp. "So what, you pity me?" Marcus's lips curved slightly, his gaze fixed ahead. "No. I see strength you don't even recognize." She scoffed bitterly, shaking her head. "Strength? I'm sitting here in a stranger's car pretending my heart isn't shattered." His tone softened, each word deliberate. "Strength isn't about never breaking. It's about standing after you've been broken." Her breath caught in her throat, his words landing heavier than she wanted. "Jasmine," said, "you talk like you've been there." His jaw tightened, silence pressing heavy between them before he finally muttered, "More than you know." The ache in his voice startled her, pulling her gaze to him for the first time without anger. The silence stretched as the city blurred past, glass towers dripping with rain. Jasmine whispered, "Why would you even help me?" Marcus shifted slightly, his eyes narrowing. "Because sometimes strangers see what those close refuse to." Her chest tightened, the truth stabbing where it hurt most. She looked down at her trembling hands, whispering, "He said I was too much, too loud, too difficult." Marcus's tone cut through, steady as steel. "He was too weak to handle you." Her eyes shot toward him, the fire in his voice jolting something inside her. She said, "You don't even know me." He glanced her way briefly, his voice calm but heavy. "I don't have to know every detail to know your worth." The words lingered in the car like an echo, a warmth battling the cold storm in her veins. Jasmine let out a bitter laugh, shaking her head. "You make it sound so easy, like words can stitch a heart back together." Marcus leaned slightly, his tone low. "Not easy. Necessary." Her lips trembled as she whispered, "I hate that he still has this much power over me." Marcus's jaw flexed, his voice carrying quiet fury. "He only has power if you let him see your pain. Tonight you'll let him see you're untouchable." Her eyes widened, the idea sparking in her chest like defiance trying to breathe. She whispered, "And what about you? Why do you care if I look untouchable?" Marcus's gaze hardened, his voice a whisper that sounded more like confession. "Because I know what it's like to be humiliated in front of the world, and I wouldn't wish it on anyone." The car slowed as Marcus pulled into a sleek hotel entrance, glowing under golden lights. Jasmine's pulse quickened as she whispered, "Why here?" His voice was calm but firm. "Because this is where the people who matter most will see you. And him." She stared at the shimmering glass doors, panic rising in her chest. Jasmine said, "You think I can just walk in and pretend none of this broke me?" Marcus turned to her, his gaze unwavering. "You're not pretending, you're proving you were always more than he deserved." Her throat tightened, her chest trembling with both fear and pride. She whispered, "And if I fail?" Marcus's lips curved into the faintest smile. "Then you fail standing tall, and no one can take that from you." The hotel lobby glowed with golden light, polished marble reflecting every shadow, as Jasmine stepped inside with Marcus. Her heart pounded like a drum as she whispered, "Everyone is staring." Marcus leaned closer, his voice calm but sharp, "Let them. They should." She lifted her chin, forcing her trembling body into a silhouette of dignity. The click of her heels echoed across the hall, louder than her racing pulse. A couple at the bar whispered, eyes sliding toward her, judgment burning like daggers. Jasmine muttered, "They see through me." Marcus's jaw tightened, his voice a command. "No, they see what I want them to see. Untouchable." She swallowed hard, her lips curving into a fragile smile. Every step felt like war, her ex-memory haunting every corner, but Marcus' presence wrapped her like armor. She thought, if I survive this night, maybe I can survive anything. At the far end of the room, Jasmine froze as her ex, Derek, turned his head, eyes narrowing with cruel satisfaction. Her throat closed, her past suddenly alive. She whispered, "He's here." Marcus followed her gaze, his expression unreadable, then leaned toward her ear. "Then show him you've already moved on." Panic surged in her chest, her voice breaking. "He'll see the truth." Marcus's hand brushed lightly against hers, grounding her trembling. His words carried steady fire. Truth is what we decide to give him tonight. Derek's smirk cut her like glass. His drink raised lazily, as if mocking her. Jasmine forced her shoulders back, whispering, "If I falter, he wins again." Marcus's voice dropped low, firm and unyielding. "Then don't falter, not for him." Her lips trembled as she exhaled, her dignity fighting to bloom through the cracks. Derek approached slowly, his smirk widening with every step, and Jasmine's knees nearly buckled. He said coldly, "Didn't think I'd see you crawling back here." Her stomach twisted, but Marcus stepped forward, voice smooth and cutting. "She didn't crawl anywhere. She walked in with me." Derek's smirk faltered before shifting into sharp laughter. "And who exactly are you?" Marcus's gaze didn't waver, his tone low, "The man who knows her worth." Jasmine's breath caught, her body trembling between fury and gratitude. Derek sneered, "She's good at pretending." Jasmine's eyes burned as she forced herself to meet his stare. She said, "No, I only pretended with you." The words sliced the air, louder than thunder. For the first time, Derek's grin cracked. The tension thickened as curious eyes in the lobby turned toward them. Jasmine's chest heaved as Derek leaned close, his voice a venomous whisper. "He doesn't know the real you." She bit her lip, rage boiling as she whispered back, "And you never deserved to." Marcus's gaze hardened, his tone cold steel. "If you think you can shame her, you'll regret it." Derek chuckled darkly, the sound hollow. "So protective for someone you just met." Marcus smirked faintly, his words sharp. "Sometimes it doesn't take years to see what's valuable. It takes only truth." Jasmine's lips curved into the faintest smile, her tears threatening but refusing to fall. The onlookers leaned closer, sensing war disguised as conversation. For the first time, Jasmine felt power stir inside her chest, her scars becoming weapons. The moment cracked like lightning as Derek's smirk vanished, replaced by a sneer. "This won't last. She'll always run back to what she knows." Jasmine's body stiffened, her mind screaming with echoes of every insult he had ever thrown. Marcus stepped closer, his presence steady. He said, "She doesn't run anymore." Jasmine's throat trembled as her voice rose, fierce and shaking. "You're right, I always ran, to protect my heart from you. But tonight I'm done running." Her words hung in the air, slicing through the whispers around them. Derek's hand tightened on his glass, jaw clenched as his mask of superiority cracked. For the first time, Jasmine felt him shrink under her gaze. She whispered, steady this time, "You lost me the moment you thought I was yours to break." Silence consumed the room, power finally resting in her trembling hands. The crowd began to disperse, yet Derek lingered, his smirk twisting back into place. He said, "Funny thing, Jasmine. Did he tell you he's not who you think he is?" Her chest tightened as Marcus's jaw hardened. Jasmine's voice trembled. "What is he talking about?" Derek's laughter carried venom. "Your hero here isn't just some savior in a suit. He's the man who once partnered with my family, who vanished when things went bad." Jasmine turned sharply toward Marcus, her breath catching. "Is that true?" Marcus's silence was deafening, his eyes lowering just enough to betray guilt. Derek leaned in, savoring the moment. "Didn't think your night would come with secrets, did you?" Jasmine's heart thundered, betrayal gnawing at the edges of her fragile courage. She whispered, "You should have told me." Jasmine's pulse raced, her voice breaking. "You let me stand here thinking you were different, but you're tied to him." Marcus's voice finally broke through, low and steady. "I walked away from that life, Jasmine." Derek laughed bitterly, his eyes sharp. "Walked away after lining your pockets." Jasmine's fists clenched, anger burning through her chest. "So what am I to you now? Just another cover-up?" Marcus turned fully to her, his eyes fierce. "No, you're the only real thing I've touched in years." The words tore at her heart, torn between truth and deception. She whispered, "I don't know if I can believe you." The weight of his silence dragged her lower, the noise of the lobby fading into a distant hum. The whispers grew louder as onlookers sensed the fracture. Jasmine shook her head, her voice laced with fury. All this time you've been hiding, and I let myself believe your words. Marcus stepped forward, his voice urgent. I didn't hide from you. I tried to protect you from what my name carries. Derek's voice cut sharp. Protect her, or keep her blind? Jasmine's body trembled as she turned to Marcus. You said 5 minutes could save me, but maybe it was only ever about saving yourself. His face broke, a flicker of vulnerability cracking his controlled mask. No, Jasmine, you're wrong. You've been the only thing I wanted to face head on. She whispered, broken. Then why does it feel like I'm drowning in your secrets? Marcus's voice cut through the silence, low and heavy. I made mistakes, yes. I walked into a world I should have stayed out of, but I left it behind. That man, he said, nodding at Derek, feeds on control. I refuse to play along. Derek's laughter rang loud, drawing attention. And now you want her to believe you're the righteous one? Don't fall for it, Jasmine. He's no savior, just a coward who ran. Jasmine's body swayed as if the weight of both men's truths crushed her. She whispered, I don't want either of your games. Marcus's voice cracked, raw with emotion. You're not a game to me. You were the first chance I've had to make something real. Jasmine's lips quivered, her heart caught between rage and the haunting ache of hope. The storm inside her chest burst as Jasmine shouted, Enough! The room froze, her voice shaking the silence. Her tears finally fell, streaking down her face. She said, I am not your weapon, not your shield, not your lie. Derek's smirk faltered, Marcus's lips parted in shock. Jasmine's voice steadied with steel. Both of you think my worth comes from how I fit your story, but I am not yours to define. The crowd whispered, leaning closer as she stepped back, her spine straightening despite the tremble in her knees. Marcus whispered desperately, Jasmine, don't walk away like this. She turned her gaze to him, her voice breaking but strong. You should have been honest. That's all I ever wanted. She walked toward the doors, leaving both men standing in the wreckage of their pride. The hotel doors swung as Jasmine stormed into the night, rain falling harder, soaking her trembling frame. Marcus followed, his voice echoing, Don't walk away now. She spun, eyes blazing. You had your chance. Thunder cracked above, lightning slicing the sky like her fury. He stepped closer, desperation in his gaze. I didn't lie to hurt you. I lied because I wanted you to see me without the shadows. She laughed bitterly, her voice trembling. But the shadows are all I see now. The rain plastered her hair against her face as she whispered, You were no different than him. Secrets dressed as love. Marcus's voice cracked. Don't compare me to Derek. I fought to break free from him. She stepped back, chest heaving, torn between the pain of betrayal and the undeniable pull of his fire. Jasmine's voice rose, trembling with raw pain. Every man I've loved has broken me. Do you understand what that feels like? Marcus's eyes burned, his voice a roar over the storm. Yes. Every lie I ever lived was another scar I carried. She froze, his confession slicing through the rain. His breath came heavy, chest rising like a man stripped bare. I never asked you to heal me, Jasmine, but I wanted to prove I could stand beside you. Her heart pounded, her tears lost in the storm. She whispered, Then why didn't you trust me with the truth? His lips parted, his voice breaking. Because I didn't want you to see me as a man ruined by his past. The night pulsed around them, lightning exposing the cracks of their souls. The rain roared as Derek's voice cut through, mocking. What a show. Two broken souls pretending at love. Jasmine turned sharply, eyes burning. You don't get to speak anymore. Derek's smirk twisted as he stepped closer. I own every piece of you that he's trying to patch together. Marcus surged forward, fury igniting. You own nothing but your shame. Derek laughed, venom dripping. And what are you, Marcus? A fraud wrapped in a suit. Jasmine's voice shook, but she lifted her chin, defiance sparking. Neither of you own me. I am not your weapon. I am not your property. The storm seemed to still for a heartbeat as her words shattered the chains that bound her. Marcus's jaw tightened, his eyes burning with both guilt and pride. Derek faltered, his smirk cracking. Marcus's voice exploded with fury. "You spent years breaking her, and now you want to drag me down with you?" Derek sneered. "You already live in the mud with me." Jasmine stepped between them, her voice trembling but strong. "Enough. Both of you feed off control and I won't be part of it anymore." Her body shook, but her spine stayed tall. The rain turned her into a silhouette of defiance against the night. Marcus whispered, "Raw, I'm not him, Jasmine. Don't let his poison take me from you." She closed her eyes, the storm washing over her, her heart breaking at the crossroads. Her voice cracked, "I don't know if I can trust either of you." The silence after her words struck harder than thunder. The climax erupted as Jasmine's scream tore through the storm. "I am done being broken." Her voice shattered the night, forcing both men to freeze. Her chest heaved, fire in her eyes burning through the rain. She turned to Derek, her tone ice. "You will never hold me again." His face paled, fury twisting his smirk into silence. She spun toward Marcus, her lips trembling. "And you, if you want me, it cannot be with lies. My heart cannot survive another wound." His voice cracked, pleading. "Then let me earn the truth with every breath I have left." Her body shook, torn between surrender and survival, her soul screaming as the storm raged louder. The world held its breath, waiting to see if love would survive the breaking. The storm began to ease, rain softening into a steady drizzle, but Jasmine's chest still felt like thunder. She turned from both men, her voice ragged. "I'm not choosing between liars and ghosts." Marcus's breath caught, his lips parting. "Jasmine, I'm not asking you to choose tonight. I'm asking you to see me for who I'm trying to be." Derek scoffed, his voice dripping venom. "Trying doesn't erase the truth." Jasmine's hands trembled, her body aching from the weight of years of betrayal. She whispered, "I need air to breathe without both of you suffocating me." Her voice cracked but steadied as she lifted her chin. "I deserve silence without chains." Marcus stepped forward, but she raised her hand sharply. "Not now." The drizzle fell over her face, masking tears she didn't want either man to see. Jasmine walked to the edge of the street, city lights reflecting in puddles like broken mirrors. Her voice was low, carrying more to herself than anyone else. "I've been living to prove my worth to men who only wanted to control it." Marcus followed, his steps slow, careful not to close the distance. "You've never had to prove anything to me," he said, voice raw. She turned, eyes sharp. "But you hid the truth. That makes you no different from him." Marcus's lips trembled, his voice breaking. "I hid my past because I feared it would scare you away, not because I wanted to own you." Jasmine closed her eyes, the drizzle cold on her skin, whispering, "Then maybe fear was our undoing from the start." Her words struck the night with finality, leaving him in silence. Derek's laughter carried faintly from behind them. "She'll see you for what you are soon enough." Jasmine turned sharply, her eyes like fire. "The only thing I see clearly is you, Derek, and the emptiness you call love." His smirk faltered, rage slipping through. "You'll regret this, Jasmine." She stepped closer, her voice cutting like steel. "I already regret ever letting you touch my life. But regret ends tonight." Derek's face hardened, jaw tight as he threw his glass onto the pavement, shards scattering with a sharp crack. Marcus stepped in front of Jasmine instinctively, his body tense, but she touched his arm, whispering, "I don't need protection from him anymore." The word silenced Derek more than any scream could, his pride cracking in front of the dripping lights of the street. The silence stretched as Derek stormed off, swallowed by the rain-soaked night. Jasmine's body sagged, exhaustion seeping into her bones. Marcus turned to her, his voice soft, almost broken. "I didn't want to lose you like this." She stared at him, her tears hidden in the drizzle. "You didn't lose me tonight, Marcus. You lost the chance to stand in truth with me." His shoulders slumped, the fight draining from him. If I could go back, I'd tell you everything from the start. Her lips trembled, her chest aching. But you can't, and I can't forget. The words carved silence deeper between them. He whispered, "So this is it?" She looked into his eyes, her voice low and steady. "No, this is me choosing myself first." The drizzle slowed into mist as Jasmine stepped away, her heels splashing through shallow puddles. Her voice carried faintly, trembling but resolute. "For once I walk away not broken but whole." Marcus's breath hitched, his eyes following her every step. "Jasmine," he called softly, voice splintering. She didn't turn, her shoulders lifting with the weight of finality. "If you want me, Marcus, find me with truth, not shadows." Her figure faded into the rainlit glow of the street, her spine straight, though her heart quaked. Marcus remained standing, soaked and silent, watching the woman who had just carved herself free from his past and Derek's chains. The night felt endless, the mist swallowing his confession before it left his lips. Jasmine's silhouette disappeared, leaving him in the storm of his own silence. The night was quieter now, the rain reduced to a whisper, yet Jasmine's heart pounded as if the storm still lived inside her. She walked deeper into the city streets, neon lights glowing across puddles like fractured memories. Her whisper cut through the silence. "For the first time, I am free." Behind her, Marcus stood in shadows, drenched and unmoving, his voice breaking though carried only to himself. "And for the first time, I've truly lost." The distance between them widened with each step, the city swallowing her figure, his silence left to echo against glass towers. Jasmine pressed her trembling hand against her chest, whispering, "I'll never be defined by what broke me again." Her words hung in the mist, fierce, unyielding, final. Jasmine reached a quiet corner cafe, its warm light spilling into the wet night. She stopped, staring through the glass at strangers, laughing softly over coffee. Her reflection stared back, broken but proud. She whispered, "This is what I want, peace without performance." Marcus, still blocks away, leaned against a street lamp, his lips trembling. "I'll wait for as long as it takes." His vow dissolved into the rain as he closed his eyes, carrying both regret and hope. Jasmine inhaled deeply, the weight in her chest shifting into a lighter ache. For once the future was hers to claim, and she knew she had already survived the worst. Inside, Jasmine ordered coffee with shaky hands, warmth finally touching her skin as steam rose. She sat near the window, staring at her reflection more than the world outside. "I look like a woman I almost lost forever," she whispered to herself. Her lips trembled but curved into the faintest smile. Marcus's silhouette appeared faintly in the glass, a ghost too distant to enter, but too present to vanish. Her heart clenched, but she forced herself to whisper, "If he truly wants me, it has to be without secrets." She wrapped her fingers around the cup, the heat searing, reminding her she was alive, still burning, still whole. Marcus stood across the street, his soaked suit heavy, his chest aching with every breath. His whisper cracked through the night. "I'll become the man she deserves, even if it means standing alone in this storm." The vow felt carved into his bones, not for tonight, but for the lifetime ahead. Jasmine, sipping her coffee, felt a strange stillness. Her eyes glistened, not with tears but with quiet certainty. "I have myself," she murmured. And in that truth, she found power neither Marcus nor Derek could ever steal again. The rain softened further, falling like misty blessings over the city, as though the storm itself had surrendered to her strength. The final moment lingered, as Jasmine set down her cup, staring into her own reflection. Her whisper carried like prophecy. "Love doesn't save me. I save myself." Outside, Marcus lowered his head, whispering softly, "And maybe one day she'll let me try again." The city hummed, alive and unbothered. But inside that small cafe, Jasmine felt whole for the first time in years. The silence was heavy, final, and unforgettable. The last echo was not of footsteps or voices, but the steady thrum of her heart reclaiming its rhythm. The story closed with that beat, painful, powerful, eternal.